Dude,
So,
welcome everyone. This is Art Bros. We're back. It's been many a week, many a fortnight. What is a fortnight? Just thought of that.
the
Yeah,
Fortnite.
the game, but like, what's the time frame? Yeah, what's a fortnight? Yeah, that's like sounds like that's definitely a boomer question. What is a
I get.
fortnight?
I'm pretty sure it believes like on the next night.
Really?
Fortnite.
I feel like there's another term. Maybe this one, but it could
Oh, it's a
be
2 weeks of 14 days. Like,
okay.
is that like a cycle of the moon or something?
Something like that. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was a week or 2 weeks. Leave it to Sherry and Google. Uh, you know,
She's Jamie now.
yes, she's Jamie or Jarvis or
Bring it up, Sherry. No.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of different people. Jamie, Jarvis, and everybody else that does the side work. Really appreciate it. No, I knew that, bro. I don't believe that now for a second. I'd say I did. I tell her that all the time. However, I tell her that because sometimes she just knows knowledge for no reason, and it's embarrassing for me. So Coleman's already thrown out links. What?
Thank you guys. What's up? How y'all
Dude,
doing?
he's bringing up my studio, various studios. I threw out this freaking stream a few days ago where I put up my website and it had I don't know a few followers that like talked about it, but my website has three different things on it mainly. It has original art, it has comics, well my one comic and merch. We also have Real Femme Sapien. Wow, what's up? I want to super chat. You can't super chat because I have no followers. Actually, no watch hours. Corey Barton, what's up, dude? Good to see
Oh,
you.
what's up, Corey?
Anyway,
Yeah, you
my
gotta get those
website,
watch hours up, guys. Team, we but that's for another time.
dude.
You know
Some
what? You
people
want to give him
have
super chats? Go to his website and get the copy of that book.
yes. Get a copy of the book. We've had some good purchases from the website. However, it could be bigger, could be better. We'll bring it up
If you
later.
if you want to share the channel, share the channel. We need to grow.
Yeah, Real Femme Sapien. Share the channel wherever you'd like to share it. It should be just YouTube backslash C backslash Joe Catapano, but I know that's a little bit to type. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about pretty much learning, and because art is a pretty hard field. My dog is hearing me talk about learning, and it's hard. But yeah, learning anything is tough, and I totally understand anybody who tries something hard like drawing and has troubles. For me, it's definitely been an uphill battle. Jeremy, for sure, has his struggles as well. I don't know. What do you feel about the topic? You want to talk about learning some stuff
Uh,
and just learning in
I,
general?
to me, kind of like what I said when we kind of gone. You're like, hey, what's up? We're doing. I got some points I want to cover. Utah here. Then I was like, I mean, to me, this all feels like how they say doctors are always practicing. It's like this is always learning every time I do it.
Dude, that
Every
is
time I go through it.
you literally are have the same brain. We were born as twins, and now the results are showing. I don't know what's in your. Is that a blur or is there something hanging in front of your camera? Is that like blurring something or no? Look at your camera. You see
Oh,
whatever that is.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I thought you had like a mannequin that you had to blur out or something.
No, no, no.
No worries. It just freaked me out for a second. So yeah, there's a few things that I'd want to get to, and you literally brought up the first one. I mean,
Ding, 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 ding,
I
ding.
think it's number one. I think number one, the journey never ends. I think is number one with learning, right?
Yeah, I guess. It's I don't know. When you're doing it, you have to hold humility. Everyone's gonna be failing all the time. You're gonna make your mistakes, and even like a magician, he's going to be a little bit slippery on his hands, a little bit, on his speed, a little bit on his, suggestions. And every time he does it, he's honing a little detail about it that no one else has any clue about. And even if he starts to talk about that thing to some other peer or something, they might think you're just overthinking it, dude. You're going way too out. But that's what makes that magician's trick that much cooler or believable or subtly more mysterious. So
I like how you bring up magic.
Well, I guess it was my go-to like analogy right now, but
I like it because I as a kid I was trying to be a magician. And,
but this feels like it's creating illusions, and it is subjective. Some people will see it slightly different because they're picking up on different things. You're your worst one because you can see the popsicle sticks and the scotch tape and the glue and all. You know how it.
You know the background,
so it looks different to you than it does to everybody else.
For sure.
It's like, did we see the same green? You know, like it's a weird, you know. So this kind of acts as a philosopher's stone kind of metaphor with me too. It's about the constant transformation and the creation of this illusion to take base materials and turn them into a financial benefit, or something like that. So
yeah, it lines up with the magic analogy. It's like we're doing alchemy over here essentially. As far as this, I want to broaden it a little bit to learning anything, but especially in artwork. Yeah, with art, it is a little bit of alchemy because the finished product is this little thing in a pretty container, and it looks like it's a finished thing. At least we try to make it look like a finished thing, and you don't see like the formulas and the like you said, the scotch tape, the popsicle
like
sticks.
Even the memories, like how all the lessons you're putting into place. To me, sometimes those memories are flashing. I'm going back to that time I learned that one time, or that one time I messed up on this one thing. I'm like, oh, don't do that again. Make sure I'm, so it's also kind of it's always reteaching yourself. It's always rehoning your aim at this. So,
Well, I want to shout out a couple times. Corey Barton says, "What? We're twins? No, we are twins. We're twins. We've been twins for since high school. We were joined at some point."
Stop playing Siamese twin.
That's the most disgusting joke. We will not talk about such jokes. Hell yeah! So when we also have Shadowpunk here. Shadowpunk, what's up?
What's up, Shadowpunk? Yeah.
We might open this panel up to certain people, and I think Shadowpunk would be good for this.
My channel too, guys. I've been saying I'm going to be opening it up more. So if you guys want to show up and show your faces or whatnot, that'd be great.
I sent one out to Buddy Lord. For some reason, I thought that dude was a professor or something. Isn't he a professor?
If you've been alive for 14.3 million years or whatever, you've got to have some sort of doctorate.
Yeah, you have to. I feel like he's
a raptor, come on.
Yeah.
My math is probably wrong too. I'm not a paleontologist.
Your raptor joke, most people...
Dinosaurs aren't real.
If you don't know Buddy Lord comes on stream as a raptor avatar. And so there's that joke. But yeah, awesome. Real Femme Sapien was talking about CG. A lot of us in chat here are CG. A lot of us are creators here in CG. And that's... Technically, I guarantee that's probably my whole base, even though I do have a lot of followers and subscribers that are probably not in it. But a lot of people in the chat are CG with some cool books. R2 Reese 2 is here under a new name. But yeah, good to see you, Reese. Hell yeah, man. So learning, starting out with there's always room to grow. My biggest point that I like to bring up when learning anything, because if you want to learn something hard and something that takes a long time to build up, something like learning piano or learning an instrument, learning to draw, learning soccer, whatever. There's it's the skill called soccer is built upon many other smaller skills, and so drawing well is built upon many other smaller skills. And until you kind of make those things mesh, you won't feel like you have a skill yet. You'll be like, oh, I'm decent at drawing anime, copying anime faces or something, but you have no clue about perspective. And until a lot of these things come together, you're not going to really have any kind of foundation. So
you'll have a really hard time with dynamic shots.
Well, yes, for sure. For sure. Where's Kami Mark when you need him? Real Fam says, gotta write the Marxist with the art. Yeah. Speaking of Kami Mark, I was supposed to have him on Art Bros many a week ago. He's got a book called Krishna Kid. This book Krishna Kid seems like it's a hit comic 20 years in the future. Nobody has done a Hindu kind of book with such.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool, interesting, and I want to get him on before his Indiegogo ends. Hopefully, we can get that on.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing. But I want to talk about pretty much the grind is essentially the way to build those smaller skills we were talking about. So each of the we'll say the layers of each major skill has these smaller skills that build up to the big skill. And it's almost like there's something where we talked about this a little bit. I'm a fan of like Street Fighter and just like other video games that are competitive or just hard. Street Fighter's pretty tough, and recently I tried to pick it up again. However, just like art, just like any other skill, like you don't just pop in and realize you're good at it. It's kind of this slow build, and learning anything really comes down to, not up with, the opposite. It comes down to like picking up certain things that, I don't know, certain things that really build to a fulcrum at each level. So I don't know if that's like weird to say. I'm gonna try to rephrase. So let's just say,
I'm trying.
Let's just say you're working with Let's just say you're working with perspective. I went Street Fighter and I don't know enough about it. But let's just say you're working with perspective for art. Like, you learning 1 point perspective is level 1, and so you building to the next level, which would be maybe a 2 point perspective or a 3 point, really lends to you.
Knowing what the 1 point and the mechanics,
for sure, it builds upon.
Yeah.
Right. My point is, when you're thinking about the second point of, I don't know, like building upon the grind, you have to learn to love
fulcrum. I think is what you used was the word. So
fulcrum, yeah. When you're building to this fulcrum of whatever it is, it takes this weird, I don't know, path where it. Sometimes, even though let's just say you're trying to do a drawing and there's like this big environment, whatever. Sometimes you just need to go into it like, I barely know 2 point perspective. Let me just give it a shot and see if I can do anything. Like, let's just see if I can make it a 1 point perspective and try my best out at making it feel like it's real or feel like it works. My point is, maybe from the outside, it looks like you failed at the end, like the drawing didn't come out great. But to you, if you're building specifically on something, maybe because you're feeling like you did well with one particular thing, it's a win. It's a W for you if you actually worked on one piece and built upon it, rather than maybe the end goal of whatever it is. I saw your hand come up. I
was pointing at you going like, preach it, brother. What that point right there is the artist I respect. That is the one that has been soaking up, or even just a person learning a new skill in general, is I'm picking up a little bit of stuff. I'm getting it. I'm feeling it. Let me jump a little bit, see where I get, and to everyone else, maybe that it doesn't come out looking great, but I feel like I really pushed myself and put some things out there. And then my next one's going to be, I'd like someone who's willing to jump forward with it.
For sure. And it came about too, because
I also do humility you have to have with that to keep yourself on a proper, good structured path, because you can't keep messing up.
It's true. And it's a little bit of humility, because I also thought about how it works with sparring. I know this kind of lends to fighting games too, but when you actually really do sparring in martial arts or whatever style you're doing, like, you want to go for the win, but you're not really improving if you go for a win. Anybody can win like once in a while, but if you want to win consistently, you have to kind of be like, all right, in this one match, let me just try to block high. Even though I'm going to get hit low, let me just focus on blocking high because I suck at blocking high. Or in this drawing, I suck at anatomy. Let me really focus on arm anatomy on this one. Even though maybe if I put too much attention there, other places on the drawing will fail. Putting in the arm anatomy is the win, even though it's not a win really. Just like if you're in a fight and you're only blocking high, you know.
And so if you block high at a low kick, the guy is going to probably react to your high block and change it up altogether. And it's it's a win for you, because you decided to change it up
maybe
in an unorthodox way.
That actually is an angle that I didn't even think about, but I meant on like on a personal level. Like, even if you block high and let's just say the other guy wins the match, if you blocked high and was successful with blocking a strike from like a high point of view and get the block in, it means you win. Even though you lost the match, you won because you improved at the one thing that you're trying to improve at. That's the whole point about learning, I think, in general. Shadowpunk says, Mr. Picasso, how long did it take to do that painting? 52 years, my son. I don't know. I imagine Picasso.
It's an answer for how old he was, or how long he was a professional.
Yeah. Essentially, that's kind of how long it takes. I saw a meme the other day because you always hear about like Da Vinci, like never really, I don't know, making it until he was like in his 40s or 50s or whatever, or maybe even
the
30s.
Church did a lot to pay artists back in the day to help push their messaging and to the masses. Right. I mean, I've never seen one of those cathedrals, in real life, but I've seen paintings from those things, like from tours and stuff like that. And just imagine back in that day, a much more simply understood and misunderstood world. And you're like seeing these giant paintings being done, and they're illustrating these fantastic or horrific images. I mean, that's not enough to shrink your ego in front of, those guys are being paid. Those were
it's like us looking at. It's like us looking at Roquefort's freaking art. That's how I feel anyway. I feel very, you feel small next to some of like his subtle line work. But you're right. With Da Vinci and a lot of the old Renaissance masters, it sometimes feels that way. But I did see a meme where someone put it on its head, where instead of like, oh, I heard it took, I forget, like some serial killer 30 years to get good at something, but it was just a funny turn on that one meme of like, how long does it really take to get good?
Yeah.
But yeah, Shadowpunk also says, don't wait, create. That's kind of like a thing that, it lends to the idea that raw creativity is a skill in its own, like, right. Like, and inspiration to do it in the first place is tough anyway. So just getting to that, but it's really just the mindset, this learning thing. There's not really a set method, but it's more like if you have the mindset of learning instead of winning, learning instead of making money, learning instead of building followers, learning instead of all these other things, you're going to end up with a situation where you're going to get better, one, and two, because you're not focused on it, you're going to probably do better. It's just like when you do a drawing and you think to yourself, it's just a sketch. It's just a sketch. And it ends up being better because you're not focused on it being this grandiose end product. You left it loose in your mind, so it became loose on the paper. And in the end, it just felt more natural and people liked it more because it's kind of counter to, it's like that backwards law shit that I always hear about and try to follow, where if you try to force something too much, it doesn't come out right. But if the minute you like go the opposite direction and forget about it, just go completely
wild
loose with it.
Yeah.
It comes out good.
That's where you capture that energy, that flow, that natural, like, that's where you get it. You can't get that being too rigid. You can't.
So it is.
But you can't get that by measuring every point, every marker, and making sure it's architecturally perfect. It comes up looking like a draft. Like a draft.
Yeah, you don't.
It's totally
you
different.
need this weird balance. It's a weird balance for sure. My favorite part of art is that balance, but stuff. Everybody has their own techniques to get there. Like a lot of people, like for a long time, my parents were kind of nervous about it because for a long time, I needed a drink to get loose enough to like let it flow. Like it wasn't there to dopamine me up or whatever. It was there to like let go of like it doesn't need to be good. The first line I put down.
Yeah, nervousness.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that nervous part about what if I mess up and have to erase again? you know, I spend 20 minutes doing this because I'm chasing it down, and then it's wrong. I gotta erase all that. No, like
for sure. And I'm still looking for it actually. I posted a a lot of people do those like before and after things. For me, I did pretty much my drawings through the years 2014, 2016, whatever, and I'm looking for that one piece of kind of progression because I'm going to bring that up. And I want to point out that it doesn't look like it's progressively better. It's just different and better. You know what I mean? Like it's more like maybe there's something better about each one, but maybe there's it's like the stock market. Like it kind of goes up, down a little bit. Certain aspects of it become better. I know you got something in the background. You want to show some of your
oh
your
no,
work,
I've
bro?
just been it's kind of what I've been working on this
Yeah,
week.
let's bring it up. Let's get some visuals in here. We're artists, dude.
This you know that movie not the movie, the book The Odyssey with Odysseus.
I do know of the book. I never read it
Gets
really.
past the
Gotta be honest.
Cyclops and the evil sirens and the crashing rocks.
Mm-hmm.
He's a punk. He's a little wussy. Like that's all I'm saying. Hey, he's sissy. So
He's
he
a
ain't
punk,
got
dude.
nothing. He's a punk.
Why is he a punk?
It's been, ever since that like storm came in and wrecked through everybody, everything, cleanup and all that's been nuts. I am wore out. Family came in to see. It was awesome to see them. We had a good time too. And
Okay, yeah.
it's been insanely nuts just trying to get everything going. And I got a little, like inspection of the house just to make sure all the stuff for the insurance checks through. So I've been, being the anti-dirty artist and going through the house and making sure.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
just
nothing wrong
trying
with being a clean artist, dude.
no, yeah, exactly. So been going.
You're talking
through
to the ultimate.
You're like Danny Tanner, the artist.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Danny. Yeah, there's plenty of those.
So I don't want to show too much of this. I've actually turned off a lot of the layers, so I wasn't going to hint.
Nice.
Yeah, guys,
This is one of the pages from your
one of
book.
the pages. Yeah, so
Nice. This is called BECKONED, guys. Anybody who is not familiar, this is Jeremy's book. He's literally got the knife from the book made in front of him hither.
It's awesome.
Observe. Jeremy's been a sword fighter and knife man for many a year.
So this is fun. Get me to the forge with some plastic. Let's do this. Forge and fire.
So yeah, this looks cool, dude. I think a lot of people are digging it. He said, so Shadowpunk says, how do you get such smooth coloring, my friend?
Smooth coloring. Hold on, let me show you. That's on a layer. I turn off my light layers, and then it's all solid. And then from there, I've got blend effects on things. So like the skin. Give me a second. And I'll turn off all the layer effects, and you'll see it all flatten out.
So you use a mix of layer effects
and hand lighting. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I would say it seems like a soft brush is what you're using. No.
Nope.
Okay. So again, I'm just reiterating his question.
Oh
How do you
yeah,
think-
it's the crosshatch. Again,
it's the soft crosshatch. Okay.
It's how thin the crosshatch lines come together and start to blend together. Yeah. So
Right.
it's just how
So,
thin I crosshatch. Yeah. Like
Yeah, it's
you're
interesting. It's definitely not my method. It's too much for me.
saying.
However,
But that does create that soft shade,
Right.
and it does make something that's totally digital looks like it's done with color pencil. So, or like
dude, that is definitely the style. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, very cool.
What's up, Collision Bomb?
I guess his follow up is, so what do your pencils look like? Is this Alex Ross technique? Let's see.
I'll pull up my my portfolio website, which I never plug here.
Well, I think he wants to know, can you show it with this specific drawing? Like,
say it again then.
can you draw? Yeah, pretty much he wants to see what the pencils look like underneath the color here on this drawing.
Oh, yeah. Give me a
because that way he can tell like what's what. That way he can tell like. There you go. Cool.
Let me turn off some of that too.
So here you can tell how much of the soft elsewhere down the road.
Yeah. All that crosshatch. And what's crazy is it gets this weird. When I start going over it and over and over and over, it starts looking like it's a leather patch texture.
Yeah, dude, it does.
You know, and I'm like, whoa, this is kind of cool.
It's like we're watching House of the Dragon over here. That leather.
Yeah, even like on the hand, like.
So is that your preferred style, or is that like that's how you?
That's how I naturally draw traditionally, and pulling that into digital. So when people ask me, "Oh, this is all digital," it's like, yeah, but it's just because it's cleaner, and if I mess up, I can change things. But technically, on every other end, and I don't have to mix colors like Shantan Jetty's magic because it's a color wheel in digital, you know. And
it's a different thing.
But my line work is basically traditional. And I remember you and I were kind of worried about people in comic books actually growing towards this, and like, would they take to it or not? You know, because it's a different
any style approach. That's a little different, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not necessarily this one in particular. There's a lot of anything that looks good, people are going to like. However, this is definitely more time consuming than other styles, I'd say.
I don't know if it is because it flows from me, you know.
Right, but there's just it's a different thing if you're doing like a cell shade look or you're doing like a very simplistic look.
Sure.
You know, namely like a narwhal style. The dude rolls through pages, I'm sure. But maybe I'll bring up some narwhal stuff. Oh, before I forget. Not to pull off, but yeah, this is a Shadowpunk. This is definitely a style. It says Alex Ross definitely uses the same approach with the crosshatch.
Cool.
Alex Ross is a beast, obviously.
Nice. Oh yeah, here's the other. Real quick, I'll show you one more other thing that's awesome with digital is you learning how to use an eraser to do some of the art too is another trick I was picking up off of college, especially for hair strands. You know, you're going to put down all these inks and stuff like that, especially in comic books. Go ahead with that whiteout and throw some whiteout hair strands just to wisp it up a little bit extra. But I took that technique on some of these things. So in this flap right here, I'm going to select the crosshatch because I think it's a little harsh compared to how soft some of these other rounded areas. You can see how I'll zoom up into it. You can see how soft some of these get and how kind of harsh that ends up landing there. So I love using soft eraser at a 30% and just tapping that soft out.
Right. Subtly let it blend out.
Right.
You are a blend master, my friend. I do think you do blend, and I think that's a very big piece of how like the realism you pull. Blending is half of what's real. The difference between something photorealistic and say something that is like a little bit more either surrealistic, or which would be more blending, or maybe more graphical, which is less blending, is to the right amount of blending and value. But something I came upon the other day is how much blending. I dig it. You have this nice mix of, like you said, like this. It doesn't feel digital. It doesn't feel digital.
No, and I didn't want it to. And I don't know if you just saw what I just did, but I just increased the.
Yeah, you doubled up. Seems like.
Get it really.
Yeah, the doubling, the double multiply is good.
Yeah, and then custom erase where you want it light to kind of hit.
Yeah.
You know, and it'll start pulling it out. Like, you just learn little quick tricks, to kind of put that final touch on it. But.
So, Sherry wants us to draw something. However, we will draw something. Before we do that, I want to bring up a couple things. One is that I found that old school set of drawings I did. It's pretty much a Twitter post that is my as my progression. I want to bring up a couple points attached to the learning process. Sorry to do this to you, bro. All right, so I'm gonna zoom in
Oh,
here.
more learning. My head's gonna hurt.
More learning, bro. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger. Sure. Okay, so essentially, look at me at 2012, and look at me toward the other side of it, which is last year's stuff. But anyway, the point is, like I said, learning is kind of this thing where you as an artist, or you ever as whoever you're trying to be, you're trying to pick up certain skills. And let's just say from the 2012 jump to the 2014, I obviously focused on lighting. I was trying to get like something where I made volumes happen in front of my eyes. And I needed to like prove that to myself, or like show my worth there with this turtles page. I don't know if I can zoom in anymore. Let me see. It might just zoom out. Yeah. Okay. So, but point is, like, just because you jump, you know, which it is a big jump between 12 and 14 from 2012, 2014, it does look like I did have some improvement for sure. However, jumping from this page to 2019, there's a big gap here, and there's things that you might, the untrained eye might not recognize, that like, even though there's less detail, less whatever.
14's that Ninja Turtle bit.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
cool.
It's one of the first full pages I've ever drawn, and I put everything into it. It took a long time to do. Jumping to the 2019 Star Circuit page, like I said, there's something there in Star Circuit that is not there on 2014, and like I said, an untrained eye wouldn't really, I don't know, understand or get. But either way, as you move on, you're gonna pick up different skills. The point is, people that look on it, it doesn't matter if it seems like a win to them. It matters if you progress in a certain area or not. And
may I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
2014 was, I believe, when Joe and my skills were kind of bouncing off of each other like drops of water. We were giving each other hints until you see all that detail he packed in there. And then when he started working on Star Circuit and learning more of the finer points of spreading out your detail, making sure you're going to be relying on a little bit of your colors a lot more than popping details there, because it'll get lost when you can see that happening right there. And that's just my opinion. But
it could be, and I definitely think there's a lot to learn. You know, there's rough things happening in the 2014 one, but at the same time, it also looks awesome. I still look back on it fondly, but I think things just come together in different ways for different people. Real Femme is back. Actually, Sherry says, "Can we draw something?" We will. I think she said that before. I want a Baby Yoda or a cyborg puppy to be drawn. Dude, a Baby Yoda can be drawn in moments. When he got with me, he greatly improved. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. That is true. That is true. I definitely improved when I met Sherry. I had an awakening, an artistic awakening.
Hey, this ain't that kind of channel, bro. Like, I don't know.
Dude, it could be whatever we want it to be, Jeremy. Just
I went to the beach the other day with my nieces. This is because I'm blushing, but man, I feel like I'm blushing right now, Joe.
Yeah, you should be. Shadowpunk says, those are great. By 2021, you've ramped up in every way, even your layouts. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I did make a post recently about my layouts as well. I'm really impressed with just how easily I put out figures these days. Something that I couldn't do before, which is, Jeremy, I don't know if you remember this conversation. When I first started Star Circuit, I literally, not that I had to, but I didn't feel confident enough drawing figures without reference. So I literally referenced every figure. Then
I had to go, what are you doing?
it's a little bit of both, though. Yeah, sometimes it was literally not good skills, and sometimes it was not good confidence. But whatever, you know.
And my point was back then was, what's the point in spending the time learning the anatomy, learning how to draw it, learning vantage points, if you're not gonna try it, you know, and try to stand on it. So I think when that happened with you, you started going like hold on it, dude. It was awesome.
All right, so somebody wants a Grogu for sure. Two people now wants a Grogu. Grogu,
Zombie
dude,
Grogu.
that we can do that. We can do
Zombie
that for
Grogu.
damn sure. Um, so we're all working on something, and you learning your own method, dude. That's another principle. It's pretty much learning. You pretty much have to learn how you operate before you can really optimize your learning method.
You know what sucks though is when you
What
learn that the way you operate,
is not ideal.
it's not ideal, and that it gets in your communication. Like it gets in the way of communication. It gets in the way of like a lot of stuff, in habits too. Like we a lot of us take the sauce sometimes too much, and
Absolutely.
and that never makes any of us smarter. And to an
I'm not.
artist who kind of lives all the time doing art, there's no difference being drunk doing art and doing art sober, So you have that, you bring in that same confidence in a place where it shouldn't be, and
Speaking of,
you come off way bad. So I've had to have humility about that over and over and over again. I'm getting better,
it's
but
it's a hard grind
yeah,
to as an artist. My favorite quote for any kind of art related thing is, you only do art when the fear of not making art is beaten by the fear, or the fear of making art is beaten by the fear of not making art.
yeah,
So it pretty much means that like there's always this fear of you sucking, and only this inner drive within you that's pretty much like pushing you to make the art regardless of how bad maybe it's going to be, overwhelms the other, the dark side essentially. um, so I don't know why my name is Pepe Giuseppe. I totally forgot that my name is that on the stream. My bad, guys. You, dude, I thought it rhymed the last time I was on, and it was funny. But anyways, let's move to another aspect of our lives, which is our products, and maybe at the very end we'll do a little Grogu or Baby Yoda. Well, maybe we'll do a competition, for a 5-minute sketch.
we were talking about consistently winning.
Oh, dude. Well, look, man, already told you my figures are improving, bro. We'll see. I know you want me to draw, Sherry. We're not drawing. We're gonna move on to what my website looks
We're
like.
reminiscing.
Um, we're gonna bring up a couple things. Jeremy, actually, we'll do yours first because you have a more pertinent thing right now, which is backend, and it's building an email list. Anybody who wants to be a
Yes.
cool person,
Guys, I'll
and
tell you, we're just over 200 emails. Come on. I got to get out there more and push it myself. But if you haven't checked it out or anything, the link is in the description. Thank you, Joe. You all
oh yeah, I'm
go ahead
bringing
and
you up.
sign up. Check out this art. Joe says that's his favorite cover. I can't believe I got that
No,
kind of
dude,
compliment from a
I don't want
dude.
to. I
So,
know. I got to take it back. No.
well, I had it for a time. It's kind of like when you get first place on Indiegogo. So, at least you can say you had it once.
And
Yeah, and
dude,
then just check it out. And if you're interested in what's going on over here and how it's being made, every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, me and my older brother Dwight have a YouTube channel as well. Link is in the description. Go sub to that, and you can literally watch us. Just I'm drawing the book, and he's making fun of me the whole time.
yes,
We're making a video game called BECKONED, so you can go to zanestudios.com, learn more about us. You can go check out the prototype that's on Steam right now, and again, that's for the sign up. It's the same thing as the sign up page there. But yeah, guys, go check us out. You can play this thing for free if you have a PC. Yeah, go try it out. It's fun. We're
dude.
working hard at that one too.
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
Dude. Both projects look great. So they're connected. Beck and
yep.
Recourse is a
10,
prequel.
15 years before the events of Beck in the game. So it's kind of like the Silmarillion of
Nice.
Beck in the game, which is the Hobbit of my legendary. And then after Beck in the game, there's 3 more games I want to make that finish out the storyline. So
Yeah.
between them and there, I have a whole 10-issue comic series I want to do after this one, and then 2 more books complete the prologue or my. So So then I'll go for 10 more books on a character that builds up for the video game. So yeah, I've got it all connected.
Dude,
I do have it all planned out. It's right here in over there in a few more folders. Yeah.
Yes, you've got to believe me. Everyone says draw. So
all right,
one of us will draw.
Thank you guys. Go sign up. You know what? I ain't gonna draw until I get to see a sign up change. That's what.
All right, somebody go sign up for this thing. Metal Movies and Brewskis. Hail chat, ale chat. I love it.
What's up? What's up,
dude? So you do have a very big plan for your future of things, which we're all about. Perfect.
Not everyone's that narrow-minded, but I am. It's okay. Keeps me on the grind.
Draw something fun, Grogu or something. So my favorite part about your IP is one that it seems like there's more that's under the surface. Like I feel like what you're showing is like just like not even the tip of the iceberg. Some sort of shaving of the iceberg. You know, somebody shaved.
That's made me nervous over the past few weeks or months now, as I've been trying to kind of push the first half of the book out, the real story chunk, and send it over to people, see if that's coming across the right way, seeing if it reads well enough, or, you know, before I give it to, you know, an editor to check out. You know, I just want to make sure I do all the good due diligence I can on it. But yeah, that's the hard part, is I feel like I'm not giving enough of it because I'm forcing, the way the story is written is it's making the audience ask a lot of questions and not getting any answers. So I'm nervous about that.
Dude, but so that's awesome. That's kind of cool to hear, kind of, even though it's like somewhat negative in the approach. But
it's the truth.
Of course, and that's why it's cool, because it is the truth. And I think like you're
through the gauntlet.
Yep, that's how it goes. So your book looks great. Everybody's anticipating it. Anybody who has not signed up, go do so. Everything's in the description. Coleman's been throwing links. So they're right in the chat, actually. Anybody who wants to go sign up, go do so. Shadowpunk's voting for Cyborg Grogu instead of Zombie, though it is Halloween.
Okay, you know what? Cyborg Zombie Grogu.
There you go. Cyborg Zombie, dude. Do I have to draw my own on paper and then have to compete? Let's do something like that. I feel like that's the only way to make this more fun.
How does Yoda's nose look?
Dude, I don't know. I think you kind of got his head shape, though, for sure.
Yeah.
So Coleman's voting for trans zombie cyborg Grogu.
Yeah,
well, cool. However, I don't know what is he transitioning from. Is he male? He's a dude? Is he a dude?
I don't know. Is Grogu a boy or a girl? Do we know? Is there female Yodas or Yodai or whatever? He
seems like a boy, but I don't know, man. I feel like saying that might piss off some people.
What if Yoda was considered a female in his race this whole time? We never thought. Like I talked about Boba Fett back when we were in probably 4th, 5th grade. There was rumors around. This is like 1997, all right, right?
Yeah, a long time ago, yeah.
There were rumors around that Boba Fett was actually a chick, kind of, because Samus and all that with Metroid was popping off and stuff. So people were. I always thought that was going to be cool. So when the new show came out, I was like, "Ooh, people are gonna get pissed." And then it was a bald guy, and I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!"
Well,
okay, whatever.
Look, I was reading the what was canon. It was previously canon, but I've read the Boba Fett series, and we always knew it was a dude. However,
sorry,
it's okay. It's okay.
1997 was that still Boba Fett series?
What?
Sorry, my bad. Nothing. Go ahead. What?
It could have been, dude. I read a lot of things that I normally. I feel like my little brother is a Star Wars fanatic, and
yes.
I feel like I'm the reason why he became that way. Like I'm pretty sure I've introduced him to all the things that made him so fanaticized. Shadowpunk says those ears are already awesome. Look, is this dude
Thanks,
have an ear fetish or what's going on? Uh, I don't know. My ears are better. You just can't see them yet, dude. Uh, so, yeah, is Boba pulling a Samus?
Yeah, that's what
Maybe.
I was thinking. That's what we were thinking back in the day. It was that's what was happening. I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool, you know.
Well, I don't
But
know,
they
dude.
didn't do that.
I feel like Boba is cooler than Samus in some ways, but not anymore. Not Samus is cooler now, but the mystique of Samus or Boba Fett was bigger than Samus. Like, because we really didn't know anything about Boba Fett, and Samus was revealed in the first game that she was a chick, and
Mhm.
regardless of what you like,
But see, like the speculation about that rumor was that in Return of the Jedi, after Leia successfully barters for Hans's carbonite or whatever, or no, it was for the Wookiee for Chewie for turning
yeah,
Chewie, right? But she's dressed up as a bounty hunter and like
yes,
Nat negotiates with the thermal detonator and stuff. It's like Fett's over there and like gives her a quick little nod. And we never really know what that was. Like they never really turned into anything. So people were like, "That's the nod." It's like, oh yeah, she understands like maybe like the way Leia's walking or something like that. That there's something. I don't know. I didn't like. Why couldn't it be a female bounty hunter in the first? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It was
dude.
1997. I don't know.
Don't be stirring up the feminists, bro. We don't need the feminists coming into our chat. So already Sherry's trying to womansplain to me and tell me why I'm not doing the right thing. Uh, Reese is here. Sherry says, "Less talking, more joy." I know. I saw. So I like the cyborg eyeball. I'm gonna go a different route with mine. However, I do like it, and I like the broken teeth. It's cool. Um, so, what's your take on the new Lord of the Rings, dude? I haven't got an official.
Okay, so I have watched it as far up to I think episode 5, which I heard was the wrong time to stop watching it. And technically, I just don't have any time to watch anything right now because I'm trying to get everything in order. But
Right.
when I do go back, I'm gonna go check back out because it's. But if you're wanting to be a Tolkien loyalist in every sense of the way that anything that's created with the moniker Lord of the Rings should be adherent to the literature and all that, then you're absolutely probably more than likely gonna hate this show. And I do not like a lot of the things with it. I don't like a lot of, and it is fan fiction. I mean, it comes off that way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'll be real with you guys. If you're excited about that kind of storytelling, I really hope that Beckon doesn't look worse because that's what my biggest worry is. I've been complaining about all this other stuff and the potential. Like this is the best kind of storytelling we got. I went and bought the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings cartoon just to watch that instead, and
Really?
I did. I did. So it's there's an element that's being lost, and I think it's the audience's, even my own ability to want to dive into things, to want to have fun, to be that kid again. I'm an adult. I have adult things to do. I have adult minds that wants to analyze everything because I can monetize it in my own way if I turn it into my art or something. Like it took the fun out of it being an
Mm.
adult. So it turns out being real hard for me to be interested in something that I'm kind of I don't have the time to sit down and look into, so I'm looking at it in a different way. I'm wanting to learn all I can about it, to talk about it on stream, to up my watch numbers or something like that. It's like that's all taking me away from actually finding out why I feel this way about it, and hoping I don't create that feeling in my own audience when they get my first product that comes out. I mean, it's
That's understandable. I feel
yeah,
like you're right in the way that I feel like in the way that there's a childhood wonder, and then you're always going to miss out on whatever that is, if you're looking at it as an older person. However,
yeah,
there's something about the New Lord of the Rings that is clearly motivated from outside sources of not Tolkien motivated stuff. And that's the stuff that none of the fans like. Maybe some of them want something fresh, whatever. There's an argument to be said that fresh is maybe good in some ways. However, you should probably just make up a whole new IP if you want to do
New
something.
IP, right? Right.
Just
I mean, it would be great if the whole time I wasn't watching it and going, oh, okay, that's not how okay. I mean, there were some good moments, and some of the actors are really good. Like the dwarf and the Elrond scene where they're like reminiscing their friendship and the differences between being an immortal and all that. Like that part was there's some cool moments in it, and the fact that they treated like the first scene with the orc that shows up was treated like a horror scene. I haven't
watched any of it, but
I'll tell you, I'm not trying to ruin anything. These are my markers that when you watch it, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah.
I'm only saying that because I probably won't watch it.
All right, well then there you go.
And a lot of times I hear about things like this, and I'm like, man, I'd rather not get. I haven't watched the Sandman shit either because I don't want to get disappointed, dude. I like Sandman. I don't want what they did to it, like messing with my imagination and stuff. Like the best part about comics is the shit in between the panels. You know what I mean? Like you look at like any comic and you get to imagine what happens in between the panels, dude.
Yeah.
So it's with that being said, it's kind of dumb that like they take our beloved things and make them what they are. But
we were also children at the time when those things were in. Even though they bastardize them and stuff, will they ever stop being our heroes?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. After I see kind of some of the tropes that I see they're doing with Galadriel.
Oh yeah, that's Rocky. That's real Rocky. I get you.
So
I get it.
They're definitely trying, dude. They're definitely trying.
The day it came out, me and Kenton watched it in VR, and
together.
I was sitting there telling him, I was like, all right, it was beginning of the, I think, 4th episode or 5th. I think it was the 5th episode, but sitting there watching it, and I'm like, man, if she doesn't, like, if there's not like a scene where it shows that she's just not all, there's She-Wolf is what I wanted to call it, because it's like they're trying to create a Beowulf hero out of her, like swimming across the ocean and all. And yeah, she is supposed to be a quite capable, being in the lore, but it's the way she goes about it. And I'm like, what is she just gonna? Is that gonna be her story? Or she's gonna be mean and angry the whole time? She's never gonna be coming across. And my buddy's over here going, nah, dude, guess you just kind of got to go with it. Her brother was dead. It's vengeance. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, got it. And I get that. But if she doesn't show a little bit and right at the end of the episode, horses, and she smiles for the first time, I didn't even miss a beat. As soon as that scene's there and it's slow motion, I turned my avatar, which was Vivi from Final Fantasy IX, the little short Vivi. I turned around, looked at her, and said, now I know why she hasn't smiled. I never want to see that again. That was creepy. Like it was wild. I was like, no.
I bet. I heard many different takes.
And then the next day, people on the internet are making videos of that same comment. I was like, oh,
I bet. There's tons of them. I watch a few videos on them as a divergent thing here. Catapano says,
acting is great. I think that's what makes it bad, is that I know it's a serious character, but there's an elegance that's supposed to be coming with Galadriel, regardless if she's angry or not. That's just not coming across new.
Yeah, I'm not into it. So yeah, I also agree. Sandman was a gay woke fest. I don't know to what extent, but it looked like it from the outset. It feels that way. And I don't know which one she's talking about now. Oh, the original. So you must be talking about Lord of the Rings here. Reese 2 says it's enjoyable, but it's definitely a different feel from the books. That is.
It is.
That is probably true.
I'll be real with you. The Silmarillion is dry. It's hard to read. It's easier to go with audiobook because I've done both, but oof,
it's a rough read. It's not really a read. It's like a study session.
The history book.
Yeah.
It reads like a history book.
I don't wish it upon anybody. I tried to read it in like fourth grade or something.
And Gulliver's Travels is awesome, but that's a really rough one for people to get through as well.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Gulliver's, it is probably, any of those, like Dickens is kind of tough in general. But I'm going to bring up something here. I'm going to bring up my website real quick so we can move on. Because the stream is nearly over. We're going to show our artwork. But first, Veravia Studios, everybody. Veravia Studios. This is where all my shit is. If you want to come to Veravia Studios, you can buy and sign up for Star Circuit. I'm working on a bunch of things, but namely Star Circuit is one where putting all my kind of creative energies there for the most part. It's a cyberpunk book. It's about what happens in the future when androids pretty much become pretty much the pinnacle of what humans are trying to do. Like essentially when we become obsolete. And Veravia Studios here, the shop, you can buy the variant cover that was originally on Indiegogo, but here you can get it for the last time. This variant cover is by Kane and White and Steve Furcow, and you can read the first chapter, which pretty much follows your protagonist, which is like this crazy street racer that insanely is taking on and being chased by gangs in the cyberpunk future. But eventually he'll kind of get convinced to race in this big epic Grand Prix, which is dominated by androids because humans can't just physically can't compete. This cover is great. If you guys don't have this cover, this is the last time you're going to be able to get it. I'm not going to sell this thing again. So definitely check it out and go get it. Steve Furcow rarely colors comics. And so it is one of the last times you can see his work in a comic, I'm sure. Also have Veravia hats modeled by Sherry here in the shop. Go check out that. If you just want to shop and have a nice white hat, because who doesn't like a nice white hat? I've got them up here, and you can support me by doing that. Instead of like getting a Patreon, just buy a hat, bro.
Why didn't you do like the red hat with white logo?
Maybe next time, bro. Maybe next time. Maybe when Ethan has me on his stream, I'll do that.
Make the future great again. No.
Yeah, make androids great again, bro. So this is the original art for the Malin Visions book, the first one, and this original art can be yours for a nominal fee. But yeah, it's also on the website. Go check it out. It's a killer piece. I don't even want to let it go. But if it's something that you really dig, like me, go check it out. Go buy. That's what's on the website for now. There's going to be some more stuff later. I'm working hard on Star Circuit. It looks like it's going to be a 100-page book or more. It's just an insane number of pages. Everything's coming out to be really awesome. But where the layouts are leading me is probably to 100 pages, unless I can trim the fat even further. But I really wanted to. I don't know if you ever go read like a really good book, a really good comic that like shows the action to the extent of the way you really want to see it, like shows the details of an action scene in just the right way. That's what I'm trying to do with this book. I want to show if I'm going to show some cool action sequence, I want you to see every detail. I want you to see the emotion plus what's happening plus the stakes and like the encroaching doom.
Pacing.
Indeed.
Because like
so that's what I'm gonna try to do.
Yeah.
I put
I feel like 2004 shot like action scenes.
Yeah,
15 cuts just for a punch, you know.
Dude, exactly. It's like Dragon Ball Z in the 90s. It's gonna be. They'll still be charging up at the end of this thing. And if you want a little sneak peek at some of it, here's the layouts that we were doing the other day. This is a part of a race scene. I tried to grab a little bit of each of the book, a racing segment, kind of like a hand-to-hand fighting segment. This looks like more of like a dancer nightclub segment. And then here's them as kids, kind of being brotherly and fighting over something.
Now, Joe, did you have a bicycle when you were young?
Yes. Totally.
Did you live in an area where you were able to like ride it around and stuff?
No, I
like the neighborhood.
Kind of. kind of. It's a long story. I'll tell you later.
Word. All right, cool. I was about. I get all. Ooh, all right, cool. All right, gotcha.
It wasn't that bad, but no, I had a bike that I could use to a level, a certain level, we'll say.
Oh, you were one of those BMX kids, weren't you?
No, but I did try some tricks. We did have a BMX bike, actually. I forget which brand. What were you doing with your bike? It wasn't a Mongoose, but it was one of the other ones.
Schwinn.
Schwinn, maybe? No, Schwinn is like the cruiser one. Yeah,
I can see you just ting ting with a little basket on it. Yeah.
It is a one word. It is definitely a one word brand, but I can't remember what it was. Damn it.
Fox.
No.
No.
My brother would remember. My older brother. It was technically his. We all just used his. Sure, had a mongoose doing tricks. Super funny. So yeah, good times being back on the stream. We're gonna be at this again. I drew a little something, barely anything, but I'm gonna show it on camera here. Let's see what you got, Germ.
Yeah, I got my zombie Grogu cyborg happening here.
Nice, dude.
Make it darker.
A Raleigh? I don't think so. Looks cool though. I like the cyborg eye. You got definitely have the details in there. In my few moments of drawing, let me show mine real quick. In my few moments of drawing, I did this here. Started with a cyborg ear and then moved on. I don't know. It's too much brightness.
Like a Pokemon.
It does look like a Pokemon.
Oh yeah, I forgot he sits in like a sphere, doesn't he?
No, he just sits in like his robe is like a piece of shit. It doesn't move like a normal robe.
I can. It's like one of those beer koozies.
Yeah, it is. He's sitting like a beer koozie. He's got some arms. If
There's
I had more time to draw,
for you, Disney. Give some Grogu beer koozies. How about that?
I wanted to have him hold somebody's brains that he was eating, and that's what I was going with. You know, dude, don't steal my ideas, bro. This is not a sketch battle.
It ain't a sketch battle, so I'm.
Dude, you stole my ideas last time. No, you didn't steal my ideas.
Brains gives a little.
There you go, a little flavor.
Yeah,
dude, eating brains is key to any zombie-ness. Dude, I'm gonna judge his robe. Dude, his robe is like a potato. It's just like a little potato sack. Nothing against Grogu, but perfect, dude. He looks like a mix between Grogu, some creature I don't want to like ever see again, and Pinky and the Brain.
No.
Got a little bit of that in there, but definitely fun. I like the half-eaten ear. Very cool. Maybe that's the piece of every. I feel like every cartoon mouse always has like a little chunk out of his ear missing.
Right.
You have
doesn't Splinter or yeah, of course he does.
Splinter does, yeah. Absolutely. So guys, thank you for coming. This has been a good night. Next time we're gonna do probably Kami Mark. Hopefully we can get Kami Mark on the channel before his Indiegogo ends. Coleman's here says Borg Grogu. That would be interesting. Though, is that like from
Star Trek? It's the cube. Race.
Oh yeah. For some reason, I went Beetleborgs in my mind. I don't know why. See, that's what happens. I know. That's what happens when you drink wine, dude. You go back to your nostalgic, shitty memories before.
You're just missing that Blue Man Group Elvis or whatever the heck it was.
Yeah, straight up.
Flabber.
Dude, I remember watching Beetleborgs when I first moved to Kentucky for some reason.
Cool. It was cool back in the day.
It was kind of cool. It's like Power Rangers meets America.
It was comics too. Like,
and
that's
comics
what
too.
it was.
Yeah, that's some comic stuff.
Read
yeah.
comics and got powers.
It was pretty sweet. So this has been Art Bros. I'm Peppy Giuseppe. And see you guys later. No, no, it's been real, Jeremy. Thanks for hanging out with me, dude.
For sure, dude. Let's do it again next week.
Good night, everybody. Yeah, we'll be doing it next week. Hopefully, I've been storyboarding and hurricane repairing and a bunch of things. I'll have more updates later after I get through the logistics of shit in my house. Thanks for showing up. Everybody that was new, like Real Femme Sapien, thank you for jumping in here. Thanks for hanging out, Sherry. Thanks for hanging out. Shadow Punk, Collision Bomb, obviously. And the big one, throwing out the links, Coleman. Actually, Reese2, R2 Reese2 hasn't been around for a while, so thanks for showing up too. Been real. Jerem, again, go sign up for BECKONED recourse.
What's up? I'm Jerem, you're Scuzz, you know.
I'm Scuzz, I'm Peppy Scuzz.
All right. Later,
Scuzz.
y'all.
Peace out, guys. It's
Later,
been real. Later.
Welcome to the future. A place where you can find anything you desire. If the burner gangs don't find you first. Where the fastest racers are artificial. And if you're human, don't stand a chance. Star Circuit.